Today's episode is brought to you by FlexiSpot. More on them at the end of the video. Thousands of years ago, the ancient Greeks, courtesy of the philosopher Plato, once believed that the human eyes emitted light, and that this was the way in which we were able to see. Vision was of course much less understood in the ancient times, let alone the function of the eye itself, and so the concept that human beings produce light from their eyes, which enabled them to see, was probably not so outlandish. Such a notion was often attributed to the Titan Hyperion, a deity of heavenly light, and a deity who by the nature of his realm also maintained some influence over sight. However, Hyperion is often considered to have been more associated with the sun, more specifically, the light from the sun, likely in a time before the rise of the more popular Helios. Instead, it is Hyperion's wife, Theia, who becomes more commonly referred to as a goddess of sight, especially considering that her main symbol was of her eyes. Considering that she governed over a sense that was and still is most imperative to humans, it's interesting that she wasn't more widely renowned. Another idea suggests that the Greeks believed that the light which the eyes emitted was much like a lamp, and that whatever this light touched became visible to the viewer. With this, Theia was not only the goddess of sight, enabling mankind to see, but also the goddess of light, that which the humans would require. As far as the mythology goes, and at first glance, Theia, like many of the Titans, does not appear to have a significant role beyond being born to the primordials, Uranus and Gaia. When Zeus overthrew Cronus and established his own Olympian rule, it is believed that many of the male Titans, most notably those who sided against him, were thrown into Tartarus, or otherwise killed. The female Titans, however, appear to have been not only spared, but also revered, none the least by Zeus himself. Of course, knowing Zeus, this was likely because of his sexual appetite, for we do see him attempting to court a few Titanesses once his reign began. Luckily for Theia, she appeared to have been one of the Titans who eluded Zeus, either by staying out of his sight, or perhaps rejoining her husband in the form of heavenly light. Despite not having an active role within the mythology, Theia was also believed to have been a means to explain the birth of the sun, the moon, and the dawn, otherwise known to the Greeks as Helios, Selene, and Eos. Helios was said to live in the Far East, and every day he would travel across the sky to the west in his golden chariot. During the evening hours, he would descend into the west, only to reset the next day and resume his journey. Of course, Helios was seen as the manifestation of the sun, a god by which the ancient Greeks could relate to the golden star, and by some means understand it. Selene, meanwhile, would have a similar trajectory, only she was understood to be the moon, a deity who controlled the lunar elements, and also affected the tides of the ocean. Eos, on the other hand, was the goddess of dawn, rising each day just before her brother Helios, and bringing with her the golden rays of dawn. As you might imagine, these three deities were exceptionally important to the Greeks, giving them their day and night cycle, which would effectively govern their everyday lives. With the Titaness Theia being their mother, she could also be seen as the mother of the sun, the moon, and the dawn, granting her considerable staying power within the ancient belief. Once more, it is therefore interesting that Theia is often overlooked, and not only missing from significant mythology, but also absent in ancient worship. According to some ideas, Theia was also the female version of the primordial deity Aether, who was the blue ether of the heavens and the sky. As the female aspect of this deity, she was considered to be the daughter of the heavens, alongside her titles as the mother of the sun, the moon, and the dawn. Her name Theia, which has a variety of spellings, could also have been known as Euryphesa, or Wide Shining, perhaps on the account that her powers were not limited to giving man light for which to see, but also granting light to gold, silver, and gemstones. With this notion, Theia became responsible for the stark appearance of jewels, infusing them with a vivid colour that man would come to associate with beauty and wealth. In one of his works, the poet Pindar praises Theia for her influence over gold and gems, saying, "Mother of the sun, Theia of many names, for your sake men honour gold as more powerful than anything else, and through the value you bestow on them, O Queen, ships contending on the sea, and yoked teams of horses in swift-whirling contests become marvels." Before we conclude today's episode, a brief message from the sponsor of today's video, FlexiSpot. FlexiSpot makes some really great desks, and both home and office equipment, from standing desks, gaming chairs, monitor mounts, and storage accessories. If you're anything like me, you probably spend a lot of your day sitting at a desk, and you might have experienced some pain or discomfort. To combat such problems, I've been using FlexiSpot's E7 standing desk. With the adjustable control panel, you can raise and lower your desk to a custom height that suits you, and while standing isn't a requirement, it does come with some benefits, including reduction of back pain, a boost in energy, and an increase in productivity. The FlexiSpot E7 standing desk has a dual motor, allowing for the legs of the table to extend for a huge range of low to high. I opted for the E7 curved table for the sleek and elegant design. Its measurements are 140 by 70 centimeters, and whilst this is a pretty big desk, it's really a great setup for me when I've got books and notes scattered absolutely everywhere. The desk also comes with a pre-drilled hole for all your wires, but you might also like to use this for your boom arm if you're a podcaster or a YouTuber. The FlexiSpot E7's control panel will also allow you to have 3 presets, so you can easily switch between sitting and standing heights, or quickly swap settings if you're sharing your desk with someone else. The motorized elevation and de-escalation also comes with safety sensors that automatically stop the desk to prevent collision. As you can see here, when I decrease the height of the desk, the sensors prevent the desk from colliding with the arms of my chair. Meanwhile, as I extend the desk, the sensors also prevent the desk from colliding with the shelf above. It really does feel like FlexiSpot has thought of everything with the E7 standing desk. And if you're interested in getting one, now would be a great time, as FlexiSpot is offering 38% off on purchases. Just click the link in the description box below. And now back to Theia. Despite not being in classical mythology, there does exist a fable by Plutarch, in which Selene asks Theia to knit her a garment. Whilst Theia attempts to clothe her daughter, she finds she is not able to, for Selene kept changing in shape and size, sometimes appearing full, sometimes crescent-shaped, and sometimes half in size. Naturally, this was to show the different perceptions of the moon, but also gave a reason to the ancients as to why the moon was never consistent throughout the year. As always guys, if you've enjoyed today's episode on Greek Mythology Explained, then don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this. And furthermore, if you're a fan of Greek mythology as much as I am, then you may want to check out a copy of our book, Greek Mythology Explained, where we retell a couple of our favourite myths and explore the meanings and themes behind them. With that being said, I hope you all have a good evening, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time.